The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your SuperChats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
Just 15 days remain until the New York Jets report to training camp. Today, we're going to be answering the biggest unanswered questions for the Jets ahead of report date. Will Parkinson of TOJ and Badlands joins the show. So, Jet fans, let's hit it and get it started. Man, our Jets are primed for a historic season. We bleed Jets green each and every day. This is not the same old Jets. We have Aaron freaking Rodgers. We have Garrett Wilson. Let's go. We have Breece Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super Chat, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinnen Williams. The Jets bandwagon is loaded. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show. Here we go, Jet fans. Welcome in, everybody. Hope you all had a wonderful 4th of July weekend. It felt weird not doing a show on Saturday or Sunday. Shout out to the Asmaniacs who did listen to me on NFL radio yesterday. I'm back at it tonight, but this time on a different channel on Sirius XM. Next 2 nights, 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. Eastern time, Sirius XM channel 82. You can hear me on Mad Dog Sports Radio, so check me out this evening. If you are around, you can listen on channel 82 or on the Sirius XM app. Joining us right now to talk all things New York Jets is the great Will Parkinson, who kicks off a new week with us here. Will, training camp 15 days away. Will we make it?
Yeah, look, it was crazy when you just said that. Obviously, I had July 23rd in the back of my head, but 15 days, man, it's flying along here. And it'll be. Can't wait to get back to training camp quarterback stats and overreacting about UDFAs. It'll be peak Jets content season, and we're ready to roll.
Man, I really do miss the overreactions to practice tweets. I can't wait. I can't wait.
Aaron Rodgers, 1 completion. This guy sucks. Okay, thanks for that update.
We will somehow, some way make it to training camp. As we sit here right now, what to you is the biggest unanswered question you're identifying with this Jets team?
Biggest, I guess the Hassan Reddick thing, I think, is more so the biggest question right now, just because I think everything else is a lot of kind of set in stone. Hey, hopefully these guys perform during camp and are in a roster spot. Hopefully these veterans look good. They gel, all these different things. I just think the Reddick thing, just because we haven't seen him yet, in even practice with the Jets. And then obviously there's been a lot of talk about that. Obviously the Aaron Rodgers Egypt trip overtook a lot of the headlines around Reddick, but I guess that's just the remaining question is, will he report? Will they get something done here in the next 2.5 weeks? Will it take a week into training camp? All these different things will he hold in? I think, again, I'm not worried about the actual season, but I just think of in terms of the actual, questions going into camp, it's got to be the biggest one, right? Of just because everything else is like, will this guy stay healthy for week one? You can't really, it's a little bit different than a guy who, is a superstar player. It's barely talked about, by the way, like the Jets defense, which was probably at worst the 3rd best defense in the league last year, I would say, and added a superstar pass rusher. So, I just think that's the biggest question, at least for me right now, just because it's the one that there's quite literally, we haven't seen any of it yet. And it still hasn't been answered since, the Jets wrapped up, at the end of May.
I really think Hassan Reddick has kind of become underrated when you talk about this Jets team. Like, no one mentions him as an offseason addition. It's always about Tyron Smith, Mike Williams, Morgan Moses. It's always about the offensive additions when people conveniently leave out. Like, yeah, they lost Bryce Huff, really good player. I would have loved to have kept him. But if you're going to lose Bryce Huff, for at least for this year, I don't think you can argue Hassan Reddick is a significantly better player than what we've seen from Bryce Huff.
Yeah, no, I think, look, it's just the Reddick thing is super interesting. I think he's a guy who's extremely durable. He's a guy who produces year after year. We obviously know the sack numbers over the last 4 or 5 years. I believe 4th in the NFL. High pressure rate. he's an awesome player. And it seems like, you listen to even Quinn Williams talk about him and say, the Jets, him and Bryce Huff would watch Reddick film all year last year and the last couple of years of trying to get themselves better. So he's an impact player. This Jets defense is built on, getting after the quarterback with 4 at most 5, being able to play, sticky coverage and tackle well in space if you're Quincy Williams and CJ Mosley. So yeah, having a guy who's an elite player, obviously I don't think he's in the same tier as those kind of 4 or 5, the most elite edge rushers in the league, who are probably 4 or 5 of the 10 best defensive players, right? You look at, the TJ Watt, Myles Garrett, even Michael Parsons class, et cetera, Max Crosby, he's in that next tier. And, this is a defense that's a great scheme for him. Obviously, it's going to be a scheme that, allows him to hopefully get one-on-one matchups. And if teams, try to shade to his side, it gives Jermaine Johnson, the Will McDonald's of the world, obviously Quinn Williams, et cetera, one-on-one matchups. So the Reddick addition should be an awesome addition for this team. You would like to think the Jets are going to be leading later in games, getting after the quarterback. So all that's true. It's just, again, we haven't even seen him practice yet. So that's kind of where that's where the question mark I don't have any question about how he's going to perform on the field. It's more of just getting him in there, being able to kind of get the continuity. I think the less the amount of distractions the Jets can have throughout camp, the better. No Hard Knocks, as much as it was fun last year. And I'm not saying Hard Knocks is a problem, but I think it'll just be nice to kind of have more of the national attention off the Jets. Obviously locally people will be freaking out. And the Jets nationally are going to be a story no matter what. They have the most famous quarterback in the league outside of Mahomes right now. Whether he's the best or not, that's a different story. It's just he's the most famous and polarizing guy. So, I just think the Reddick thing it'll be almost a nice surprise for people. I think so much of the talk around even the draft was Corley more so than like Olu and, things like that, or, Tyron Smith and Mike Williams, like you mentioned, more than a Reddick. So we'll see, but I'm excited to watch him, opposite Jermaine Johnson play probably 55, 60% of snaps. And then, you'll see what you'll get at McDonald and these other guys.
You mentioned Hard Knocks. NFL Network this morning is re-airing the 2010 Hard Knocks with the Jets. I just watched Mike Tannenbaum go to the Roscoe Diner for the first time right before we started.
Shout out to
the
national champions, baby. National champion Cortland Red Dragons.
SUNY Cortland, the home of Jets training camp back in the day. Love it. Love seeing Fat Rex. I mean, I had the memories from that team. The last time the Jets made the playoffs.
Fat free foot fetish Rex. Goated.
Unbelievable. If you're watching live, hit the like button. Training camp's 15 days away, so we had to bring on our guy, Will Parkinson, who will be a weekly once again during the upcoming football season, as he has been the last 3 seasons we've been doing this. And, maybe we finally get to talk about a winning team this year on this channel.
Yeah, it's so funny. Like, I get asked all the time and whatever, people, hey, how's the podcast going? How's the shows, how the different shows going? I'm sure they're like, oh, the off season must be pretty calm. And then obviously it ramps up during the season. I'm like, buddy, it's the direct opposite. The Jets have not been good. The numbers there in the off season are awesome because, everyone's getting excited and trying to figure out some of these different players, et cetera. And, training camp's great. And then we get into the season and by like week 4, it's like, I'm not a big screaming and yelling guy. So I don't have the WFAN hot take button on my show, unfortunately. But, I think being able to cover a really relevant, exciting week 14 game where it's like, hey man, they're playing for first place, or they're playing for, they're trying to get up to that 5 seed or that, whatever it may be, because the Bills are, I don't know, whatever the situation may be. It'd just be really cool to kind of see how the city rallies around, I guess multiple states rally around the Jets, and, whether that does happen. We saw with the Knicks this year, obviously the last couple of years, we've seen with the Yankees, obviously throughout history, but even when the Mets are really good, how the city kind of digs their teeth in a little bit. It'd be really nice to see what the kind of reaction was, because I don't think 2009, 2010 were a long time ago, man. Like that, they just were in the early 2000s, late 90s. Like, Connor and Joe just did the rewatchables of the 98 playoff game. And, I have so many friends that, their parents talk about the 2002, the game against the Colts and stuff like that. Just haven't had it for so long that I think once you stop assuming the worst is going to happen, and maybe it's, start to build some momentum, the passion of this fan base that's so locked in, 24/7, 365 days a year, it'd be something really, really cool to see. And as much as I know the Jets get a lot of hate nationally, locally, I think people are so bought in, or they just want so badly to like have something. And this feels like a team that could have that. They have to prove it on the field a million, say it a million times. But the roster, the optimism, I think like these young guys that have been Jets and homegrown. I think that's always a big part of New York. And I know, again, I'm not a Knicks fan, but I think with the Yankees, Aaron Judge being a homegrown guy makes you so much even more blocked in, right? Or, some of these Knicks guys that were homegrown guys, or some of there's different things that there's a homegrown player for whatever reason, the city rallies around them even more so than, maybe a big free agent acquisition, et cetera. And a lot of these Jets guys are homegrown, and it'd be really cool to see them, start winning here. And even a guy like CJ Mosley, right, who kind of almost feels like a homegrown guy at this point because he's been here for so long. So yeah, I hope we're covering a winning team. Again, we'll see, but it feels like at minimum they should be a playoff team and a team people can kind of rally around.
I will tell you what a winning team looks like. It's the Asmaniacs, baby. We are searching for enough channel members to debut our latest channel emoji. Also, in the soon-to-be-launched merch store, you'll be able to purchase some swag like this with the Asmaniac logo on the screen. Shout out to Bobby Midnight for getting us started before the show even began. He gifted a channel membership to the following listener. So if you hear your name called, thank Bobby Midnight. Jet Set for Life received a channel membership. So now we are 193 Jake Asman members away from a new channel emoji. So shout out to everyone who supports our program. Could not do it without you. All right. Comments, questions, super chats for Will. Fire those off, and we will bring those up on the screen as we go. Another question I have for you. Will the Jets make any other notable signings? And I'm not saying like superstar signings, but a Connor McGovern type signing, for example. Will they make any more signings between now and training camp starting on July 23rd?
I'll say yes, because I just feel like this always happens. Random, they'll get maybe an interior offensive lineman, safety, I don't know, another receipt. Like the Jets kind of always do this under Joe Douglas. There's usually one or two late June, early July signings that frankly we make a little bit too much of, generally speaking. And there's a reason they're not signed at that point. Like it'd be great if the Jets go sign Justin Simmons. I don't see that, or a Quandre Diggs, but I don't think it could be a McGovern. Maybe it's Connor. The Jets are like, hey, like we have some money here. Like Connor Williams, come play on a highly incentive-based deal. I don't know if that I know they probably would have had interest in him had he been healthy. So yeah, maybe I think I'll say yes, because we just have seen it year after year under Joe Douglas. There's one or two veteran guys that kind of wait right till camp, kind of they'll enjoy their summer, enjoy their spring, and then come in and get themselves kind of quote unquote in shape during camp. But yeah, I guess I'll go with they will. Who it'll be. The McGovern thing's weird just because I feel like if he was going to be back, he probably would have been back already. And I don't blame him. I mean, he was there for 4 years. Obviously lost his starting job. Quality depth, but maybe for him, it's like, hey, let me go try this somewhere else. Let me see if, can stay healthy here, et cetera. Because he's always a durable guy until last year. But yeah, I'll go with yes. I think the Jets are always looking for offensive linemen, edge rushers, defensive linemen in general, receivers, et cetera. So I can see them making, one or two more under the radar or more veteran heavy. Hey, can this guy contribute, 15% of snaps type of guy? But, you can always need depth. And I can see the Jets trying to roll with that.
When you look at like the other options besides really offensive line, like I guess maybe they could tap into the safety market because there's still a bunch of notable names. Justin
Simmons still being unsigned is extremely weird. I don't know if he's just waiting until maybe even like a week or two into camp, like Dalvin Cook, like, hey, I don't really want to have to do that much of a training camp thing. But Justin Simmons is awesome. And he's like not that old. I'm a little weird. That's a little weird. I just don't know if the Jets will shop in that, like, even if Justin Simmons takes a huge haircut deal, like the Jets really can only pay him like $5 or $6 million. Like I would be shocked if they do that. More power to him. But yeah, I have a hard time believing Justin Simmons will sign for that little. But he's the one guy who's like legitimately a superstar that's unsigned, July 8th.
Rat Diddy, super chat. First one of the day. Shout out to Rat Diddy. He cuts the line. Thank you, Will, for your sane Jets takes. Much needed. Training camp. Please get here already. That's why we like Will. He gives you some sane Jet takes. None of this hot take garbage out there.
Rat Diddy. Shout out to my boy.
David writes in, I want a shot glass, a Jake Asman show swag to toast with for my 5th snap celebration. I'll tell you what, when Rodgers plays his 5th snap this year, we're going to be celebrating at the week 1 watch party. Details on that to be announced, Jet fans. we're going to be celebrating at the week 1 watch party like the Jets had won the Super Bowl at that point. That's what it's going to feel like, baby, when our guy, Mr. Aaron Rodgers, get this shirt from Homage people. Use the link in the description. When Aaron Rodgers takes his 5th snap, Will.
Yeah, it's so funny. Like, I think some of like the hesitancy with the Jets is obviously, can these guys stay healthy? And we've seen the Jets have big off seasons, et cetera. All those different things. Like it's the fact that like it feels like Aaron Rodgers has been a Jet forever and has literally like never played, and it's just so weird. You know what I mean? Like just the concept, it's like almost feels like fake that he would be playing. Like we see all the practice clips. We obviously Rodgers does McAfee and it does all these different things. And the preseason game was so fun and all that stuff. And the rehab and the chase to come back and all that. But like actually on the field, it's almost like insane to think Aaron Rodgers is still a Jet. Like I don't know how to explain it, but like it feels fake. And until we see it, I think there's just a lot of hesitancy with everybody to like kind of almost fully buy in, because it's almost been so long since the trade happened and so little actually on the field. And it's not anyone's fault. It's just the reality of the situation that it'll make it even that much more, sweet when he does get to that 5th snap and you take your shot.
When you look at like the over-unders that came out last week, if Aaron Rodgers is around 26.5 touchdowns thrown, around 3,700 yards, passing yards, and around 8.5 interceptions, those were the over-unders from Bet Online. I think if you're a Jet fan, you would be thrilled, because the biggest reason why, he would have played enough games to put up those numbers. And you would think with this defense and the playmaking ability of a guy like Breece Hall, if the offense maybe runs through him, that is more than enough for the Jets at the bare minimum to be a playoff team. But maybe with those numbers, maybe be AFC's champions as well.
Yeah, look, I think not to keep plugging our own stuff, but we're talking about Vinny's 1998 year and how special that was, obviously from a million different things. The team was obviously awesome. Vinny had obviously his best year and the whole thing, and probably the best year of a Jets quarterback. I know Fitz had more touchdowns and Namath had other seasons with more yards, but I feel like Vinny was like extremely efficient, and like there's numbers pretty much settled right where you just mentioned. I think it was 3,600 yards, 63.5% completion, 29 touchdowns, 7 picks, took care of the football. Rodgers takes care of the football better than anybody in NFL history, and it's like not particularly close. That's not being biased. The numbers spew it out. He has the best touchdown interception ratio seasons of like the top 8 are all Rodgers. And we've all known that. I think the biggest thing for the Jets will be, can Rodgers be efficient, and can the Jets need to like just be very conscious of, can Rodgers still go win you football games? I believe he can. I think he can be a guy that can carry you to wins and be the difference, right? Of like that, there's those select 7 to 8 guys in the league at most that can really do that. I think Rodgers still has that in his bag. I do really want the Jets to not lean on that unless they kind of have to. I think, being able to run the football, being able to play really solid defense, being able to put together these long drives, being able to like manage the clock well, being able to do these different things that I know aren't as exciting as, hey, Rodgers go through it 60 times a game. Like it's Madden and like he'll put up video game numbers. That's cool. But I also feel like limiting how many times Rodgers gets hit, limiting how long the defense has to be on the field, different things. Rodgers has been extremely successful, especially the latter part of his career, where multiple different running backs involved in the passing game, running the football really well, a lot of play action, a lot of, I had a guest on my show, slipping my mind, but mentioned pretty much that, Rodgers is like the greatest, him and Brady are the greatest game managers of all time. And it's like, wait, they're not game managers, whatever. And it's like, yeah, but they're able to manage the game in such a great way where once you give them a running game, they're pretty much impossible to defend against. Obviously. So I think with the numbers you mentioned, I would expect somewhere around the 30 touchdown mark. I don't think expecting 50 touchdowns is reasonable. I remember Fireman Ed last year on my show said that Rodgers is going to throw for 45 or 50 touchdowns and 5,000 yards. I hope it happens. That'd be insane. And I will be thrilled if that happens. That said, I think, again, somewhere in the 3,500 to 4,000 yards passing. I think somewhere in the 25 to 32 touchdown range, depending on, averages, again, about a little less than 2 touchdowns a game. Does Rodgers run a few in? We'll see. He's done that obviously in the past. And then limiting the interceptions, not being too cautious, but the Jets have gotten killed by turnovers the last couple of years. And you've seen, as bad as Zach Wilson was, as bad at times as all these other quarterbacks that they've played, when they've taken care of the football, even in games where Zach Wilson was not good and he just didn't throw interceptions, the Bills games and things like that, they were able to win those games because of how good the defense was. They had some big plays. if you now add in the positive of actual good quarterback play with the limited turnovers, you put the defense in a really good spot. And again, it doesn't matter what defense it is. You look back at some of those really good Jets teams in 08, 2009, 2010, where they got killed at the end of 2008, and then they got killed in 2009, 2010 at times. They were awesome. And then they saw really big time in 2011. Once Sanchez started, kind of turn the ball over, it's where they got killed. And then, when he didn't turn the football over, obviously we've seen what happened. So yeah, take care of the football. Those numbers to me with Rodgers sounded right. They're probably on the lower side, but I also think that's guarding against, hey, does he miss 2 or 3 games? Does he miss 10 games? Like, that's what that stuff kind of comes down to.
No doubt. And that's why I think you could take it, because like, to me, this offense, especially early on, rely on Breece Hall. Let Breece Hall go out there and be in the offensive player of the year conversation, because he has the talent to do it. Like, there was a list that came out this morning that ESPN put together where Jeremy Fowler did his annual polling of executives, coaches, GMs, etc. And Breece Hall was number 2 on the running back list. I mean, that's the respect he has around the league.
I guess I'll ask you this, because this is classic. Me and you both host shows, so we do this to each other. But would you rather Rodgers have lower touchdowns, lower yardage, and then like lower interceptions, or would you rather him kind of be more of a risk taker in a sense of like he ends up with 40 touchdowns, but he throws 16 picks? Like, would you rather more of like him being kind of more in that Matt Stafford mold, or more of the like traditional Rodgers, like, I'm going to take care of the football, I'm going to throw maybe 1 or 2 interceptable balls a week, and you hope your receivers kind of break one of those up or they don't catch it? But like, would you rather more of the higher risk Rodgers, or more of the like a little bit more game manager, protect the football guy? He does the protects the football no matter what. I'm just saying. Yeah,
well, I think because the defense is so good, I rather just take care of the ball, rely on that, really good running game, and then if it's tight in the fourth quarter, you're confident that this guy's going to be able to drive you down the field and go win the game like he's done his entire career.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Again, you mentioned Breece Hall. I think Breece is a special player. I'm interested to see how much they use him in the passing game. We obviously saw it last year. At times, the Jets kind of really relied on Breece in the passing game more so than anybody. I'd like to see the Jets do a really nice job, and this is why I advocated for a guy like Zeke last year, and obviously Dalvin Cook was not that guy. It's not about not having Breece on the field all the time because you want him on the field, but I also want to see them be able to, in early downs, potentially rely on Braylon Allen. Could they rely on not so much Izzy? I don't feel like he's going to be like that early down guy. But can they rely on a Braylon Allen type, especially early in games on first and second downs, where like, hey, we're trying to get 4 yards in a cloud of dust here. Like, can Braylon Allen be that guy and kind of save those bigger shots for Breece Hall on third down, where Breece Hall can now get on the field, as opposed to like, hey, Breece on first and second, and we have to take him off the field? I'd rather the opposite, frankly. And again, some of the short yardage things, like Breece is fantastic there. I'd rather just like, it's not about keeping Breece on like a pitch count, but it is in a sense of like, how do we want to use these 20 touches? Do we want them to all be inside handoffs and like jam Breece Hall, on the A gap like 4 or 5 times a game? Like, I don't know if that's necessarily, he could do it. We've seen him do it, but I'd also like to see Breece Hall creative with some of these screens, different, swing routes, things like that in the passing game, as well as getting Breece Hall. The Jets have been really effective the last couple of years when AVT's healthy and running some of these tosses to the right side, and they just get AVT out in space, along with the Jeremy Ruckert, et cetera. And we've seen them be really successful. So I hope they do that with Breece this year. And I hope they kind of leave, more of those, kind of the dirty yards to some of the younger guys. Not that Breece Hall's 23. It's not about that. It's more of like, he's arguably your best player in a lot of ways, or one of your best players. I just want to see them, utilize him in a fashion that keeps him healthy, and fresh come the end of the year, as opposed to the opposite, where it's like, damn, we ran Breece Hall to the ground 10 weeks into the season.
First State Jets with a comment here. We need to erase the 30 touchdown QB record and name its 4,007 yard record. I've said this. I need Rodgers to throw 32 touchdowns, Will, so I don't have to see Ryan Fitzpatrick.
I was just going to say, that's more of the problem. Namath holding a record doesn't bother me as much as I know the discourse around Namath and the curse and all that stuff. I get it. Get Fitz off, like, out of every record, please. Like, no, I don't need to see that.
The Namath one is just more an indication how sad the Jets' history at the quarterback position is since Namath, because he has that record, first ever throw for 4,000 yards among any quarterback, and he did it in a 14-game season. And the Jets have not had a 4,000-yard passer since, and now we're playing 17 games a year. That's how pathetic the Jets' history is at the quarterback spot.
It could be the Bears.
Never. They've never had a
Bears.
quarterback do it. Yep.
Yeah, it could be the Bears. No, I don't disagree with you. I just think with Rodgers, it's going to be, again, what kind of game do they play? The Jets, you want to see the Jets be able to kind of create some of these explosive plays. I know a big thing, obviously, defensively is limited explosives. I'd like to see the Jets be able to. Can the Jets benefit from Breece Hall taking a 3-yard pass and gaining 12 yards a pop? Can the Jets benefit from Garrett Wilson or Mike Williams or Malachi Corley or whoever you want to, task with the responsibility? Can they take, that 8-yard, kind of they take that 5-yard slant and they take it 35 yards. You look at Garrett Wilson, runs or drag route against the Vikings, and all of a sudden it's a 75-yard pass, right? That's where you're going to see the kind of yardage come off the board. And more importantly, I think it's also from the tight end perspective, is that Tyler Conklin getting a 5-yard hitch route and gaining 8 yards, getting 9 yards as opposed to getting 5 or 6, right? I think that's where you see these guys and these numbers kind of balloon up. We saw that a lot with the Jets in that year, where like Quincy Nunez was taking a 4-yard play and turning it into 60 yards. Kind of quarterback's best friend, right? It's just the truth. So, I think Rodgers will break. It'd be cool just to have Rodgers, kind of hold some of those records. Obviously, one day you hope a Jets homegrown developmental quarterback does it, but I'd much rather Rodgers than Fitz, especially since they didn't make the effing playoffs that year.
That is, I would say, very well said. This just came in from Craig, down in Australia. The first person to kick off a new week with a combination of gifted memberships. How about 5?
Oh, nice.
If you hear your name called, you thank Craig down under for making it happen with the 5 gifted channel memberships. By my math, Bobby gifted 1, Craig gifted 5. We needed 194 for the Asmaniac emoji to make its debut. We now need what? 188 emojis?
Yeah.
My math is
yeah.
not great, but I think I got that one right. All right, if you hear your name called, these are from Craig, Terrence Hill, Sean Wilson, MZ Maisie, David D, John G. Congratulations to all our brand new channel members. Let's open it up. Your comments, your questions, your super chats. We'll cut the line. This one is from Jesus Jerry, who says, "Will anyone but England to win the Euros?" ?
Anyone but England, and then also anyone but Spain.
Who's left, by the way?
It's France, Spain Tuesday, and then we'll get England, Netherlands, and I guess probably Wednesday, and then Saturday, I believe, or Sunday's the final. So, and then Copa America, we got Colombia, Uruguay, and Canada, Argentina. I will be at Canada, Argentina tomorrow at MetLife. I expect it to be an absolute zoo. If anyone else is going, feel free to reach out. Any Jets fans going, I assume there will be some that will probably be in messy jerseys. So, I hate watch England. I despise the way they get covered. I despise the Premier League's I love the Premier League, but I hate how it's like if you play there, you're just better than everybody, which isn't necessarily true. So, I will be watching a very awesome atmosphere on grass at MetLife, and then the Jets and Giants will torpedo it and bring back turf. Yeah, exactly. Enjoy the grass.
Enjoy the grass. All right, let's open it up. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. We're talking, of course, with the great Will Parkinson. Today's show presented by my friends at Huga House. Get yourself a Huga House cap and get it discounted 15% off when you use promo code Asman. This blue one I'm wearing, part of their brand new release. They just put 10 new hats out there, Jet fans, including the ones you see on my head right now. Here's another vantage point of some of their new hats as well. They got the navy blue. They got the white with the blue with the flamingo logo. Check it out, hugahouse.com, promo code Asman, and you can get the hat that QB1, Mr. Aaron Rodgers, is always rocking. 15% off. Buy one hat, second hat, 30% off. Promo code Asman at hugahouse.com. Shout out to Huga House for being a part of our show. We bring Will back on because the Gustbuster hotline is open, and we're going down under for our first call today. Ladies and gentlemen, the great Craig in Australia joins us now. What's up, Craig?
Gentlemen, how are we? Everyone's
doing? How we doing?
Will. Oh, the boomerang. Yes. It's always there. Will, last time I spoke to you, I was in my hotel on 47th Street.
I remember that.
In the middle of biblical flooding. Even the subways flooded, but it was still an awesome trip. We
Yeah,
still
that was
haven't
awesome. That was awesome. I remember that.
Yeah. Thanks so much for your content, mate. I love it.
Thank you.
You cannot be missed. So I'm sipping on because it's almost 11:30 p.m. here. I'm sipping on a Japanese slipper, which is now called a Jets slipper.
I love it.
There we go.
Because it's green. And I've got a question, Jake. Why are you tormenting me on Discord with meetups that are planned? You have the Panthers watch party for the practice game. You're killing me, mate, as we say
Craig,
here.
you're breaking news right there. I haven't announced it publicly yet, but everyone in the Discord found out about the details. We will be having a meetup for a watch party, our first ever watch party for the Jets Panthers preseason game. I'll just tell everyone right now, T Squared Social. I'll have more details, but Will knows about it. We're going to try and get as many of the great Jet content creators there for that one. It's a 7 p.m. preseason game, so come out. Hang out, party. It's T Squared Social. It's located right in Midtown, actually right down the street from Alden Shoe Store. So it's a great spot. The place is co-owned by Tiger Woods and Justin Timberlake, so it's going to be a really cool venue. It's going to be awesome. It's right near Grand Central, so Jet fans, put it on your calendar. I'll have more info. But Craig broke the news before I even did. August 17th, 7 p.m., Jets-Panthers preseason watch party. Get as many Asmaniacs together as possible. It's going to be a blast.
So what this really means is join Patreon, get on the Discord. You don't have to have the news sport by me live. You can do it this way. I'm familiar with this venue, by the way. Great choice. I'm a bit of a Manhattan file. I want to know where everything is on the island. So no, it'll be crazy. I hope it's live streamed and lots of photos and stuff like that. And we're still planning our trip and whatever, but it's going to be insane. So many people to meet. So many good times to be had. We're going to see Aaron Rodgers at home. We're going to be 2-0 going into the game. MetLife, there'll be 80,000 people. It's going to be mad. So thank you for your content. Thanks to you, Will. I love all my mates in America. Can't wait to see everybody.
Now, Craig, before you go, I have a question for you. What are your thoughts on the great Bobby Midnight seemingly having a big crush on your coworker, Sarah, who's become quite the Asmaniac?
Things are out of hand. That's pretty much all I can tell you. And he's not the only one. I'm not naming names, Mr. Bonesy, but she's keeping that show together and keeping it going. I'm pretty sure it's the reason for these 8-hour streams. So I don't know. I might never see her again. Anything can happen. But I'm happy for Bobby. He's got to 500 subs. I'm going to send him his first super chat when he's monetized. That's my plan.
I love it. And for those who missed it, here's Bobby's love song to Sarah.
She's from Australia, the golden blonde beauty. Can't live without her. That girl makes me freaky. Sarah the angel is everyone's sweetie. If she dumps her husband, I'll be her next baby. Sarah.
I mean, just an unbelievable song.
I've heard that 100 times now. It's so crazy. It's always at the office. It's everywhere. I don't know what to do anymore. Like I've told you before, your channel has changed my life and many other people. So keep up the good work. Cheers, America. Love you all.
Shout out to Craig for coming through. I love the time difference, man. Crazy. Craig, one of the greats, will be back in the U.S. to be at a Jets game with all of us in the regular season. We'll do one more call with you because then I know you got to run. So let's keep it rolling right now. Let's bring on Kyle Clifton, who joins us. What's up, Kyle? Kyle disappeared. Hold on. Let me get him. Here's Kyle. What's up, Kyle?
Bobby Midnight is the songbird of a generation.
He really is.
Did you guys happen to see the contract that they gave Cole Leveo? It's 3 years, $2.8 million with no guaranteed money. That is something where they are looking for someone to beat out Newman or Hansen. And if Leveo isn't the answer, I think that they're going to probably look to add someone during camp cuts. What do you guys think?
Well, the nature of that position is you're always looking for someone you think is better backup wise. So I hope they found a diamond in the rough with that type of signing, but until you actually see it play out, like I have no idea. I have no expectations for him.
Right.
Where did you see that was the deal? I just out of curiosity.
Over the cap at it that way.
Yeah. Basically, yeah. It's really like structures like 1 year, $795K, and then the other 2 years, so kind of like they can tack on, obviously. But regardless, I think those are just like signings that you kind of make where like if this guy doesn't make the roster, does whatever, no harm, no foul. And if he does, you have him on a cheap deal. And I just think it's like Jets got to take their shots at some point here. I've talked about this a million times. They got to find another Brandon Moore, right? A guy who's like, hey, undrafted dude. We moved him to, his interior offensive lineman. He played 8 to 10 years for us and was like a league average to good player. Offensive line do not need to be 5 superstars. They needs to be guys that can play 15, 16, 17 games a year that can give you quality play. And, maybe the Jets found a diamond in the rough there. I think in general, just would like to see the Jets offensive line stay mostly healthy and the guys that get hurt, have quality depth, and it seems like they do have that, especially the tackle spot. Now it's going to be interior wise, besides Schweitzer, like who can play 2 to 3 weeks if needed and fill in, with adequate play. I think that's really what you're looking for.
Right. And I think that this goes to why I kind of like the Douglas regime, is because they don't overspend on interior line depth or the safety room. That's exactly what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
I don't disagree.
I'll talk to you soon.
Kyle, appreciate you. Will, final thoughts before we let you run here as the Jets.
Good news, Jake. Good news, Jake. I have 13 minutes left. I can give you 10 more minutes. Per source.
That's good to hear. All right. If we have more time, then why don't we do this?
Well, I need to find Matt O'Leary. He's supposed to come on my show. I want his butt on a stick. Hi, Jake. Hi, Will. How you doing?
Hey, Bobby. Hey, how you doing, man?
I missed you, Jake. I called in your radio show last night. Nobody answered.
Probably because I wasn't on the air anymore. If it was last night, I was only on till 4 p.m.
No, I tried at 12 o'clock. Nobody answered either.
Oh, well, we didn't do any calls in the opening segment, so that might have been why.
Oh, that's probably why. Okay, well, yeah, I'm 500 now, Will. I'm going to be monetized soon.
Let's go. Bobby, you're going to be making it rain, baby. Hello. This is Bobby Midnight on the money phone.
Bobby, you're going to look like Malik Neighbors.
Yeah, right. I know, right?
By the way, if a Jet draft pick had done that, it would be being covered differently. I'm just saying, not that I care that Malik Neighbors is at the strip club, making it rain, but I'm just saying if that was like Sauce Gardner after he was drafted that summer, going to the strip club, throwing hundreds everywhere, it would be covered radically differently in the New York media. Just throwing that out there.
And the other one that likes Sarah very much is Nick Shine. I was on his show last night for 2. He does this rumbling on for 2 hours straight, and then
Bobby, you rumble on for 8 hours straight.
Well, that's my show. And then he had Bonesy on his special guest yesterday because VR was still on vacation. And then he had me on. He tricked me yesterday because Bonesy gave 5 memberships out, right? And I said, oh, you only give 1 membership, Nick? And they got mad at me. So he tricked me. He put Sarah on yesterday. Yeah, then I got pissed. Then he finally let me on, and I was mad at him.
Bobby, I don't think Will has any idea what you're talking about, just so you know.
Oh, that was last night's show, Will. No, all right, so
very few people know what you're referring to. You got to be a hardcore Asmaniac to watch 8 hours of the Bobby Midnight Show.
No, yesterday with my almost 10 hours last night.
Yesterday. Of course, it just the show never ends.
Okay, well, I like the guy Allen. How you like Allen?
Braylon Allen? Yeah, I think he looked better in the scheme in 2022. Kind of probably fit his style more so than 2023. I think you like the fact Wisconsin's got a really good, every time running backs seem to come out of Wisconsin, they seem pro ready. Again, will they be the guys that are going to play 12 years? No, probably not, or that will be as effective. But I think Braylon Allen's a guy who's 20 years old. I think he's a different type of back than they have, and I think he's somebody that should come in pro ready enough to contribute year one and potentially kind of take that RB2 spot. I was impressed that he started catching the ball well in OTAs. Again, hard to make too much of running back and line play and when there's no pads. Not as always big, a big fan of that. But I think I think he's somebody that can come in if he can give you anything better than they got to have Dalvin Cook last year. Yeah, you're in a good spot, especially for like $750K a year as opposed to $8-9 million. So Allen should contribute enough to maybe he's better than everyone expected. He's a guy who, again, I thought 4th round was a good spot for the Jets to take him. I think the strategy of taking young running backs year over year and trying to hit on one that could be a cheaper option is awesome. But I definitely think he's a guy that you expect to probably be the one that contributes the most outside of Hall in that running back room. And again, if the Jets find a guy here for 3 or 4 years making pretty much the league minimum, if not a little bit more at running back, like again, that's a home run. So yeah, I like Allen again. I got to see him in NFL pads and actually,
Right.
you know, are you gonna are you really running over Quincy Williams, or is it just in shorts and t-shirts? That'll be the big question.
It's gonna be a good 1-2 punch if it works out all together, right?
It should be.
I agree.
Does he remind you of Ron Dane from Wisconsin a little bit?
Kind of gives me more Sean Green vibes.
Sean Green.
Yeah, so just somebody that can kind of get some of the dirty yards. Again, he's not in a top tier. Breece Hall is like a unicorn athlete. I think
Definitely.
Brandon Allen's more of a guy who is a good athlete who's built like a truck. And if you remember Sean Green, he was very similar, a really productive college player in the Big Ten as well. And so I think that's kind of more of the type of guy you're looking for. Then can Breece be like some combination, of a lot of the toughness of Thomas Jones and stuff like that, and then obviously the elusiveness of catching the ball in the backfield they got from LT in 2010.
Right. Okay, Jake. I talk Jets too, so
yeah, there you go.
I'm wide-rounded today.
How many hours are we going live today, Bobby? 15?
Well, you probably have your second show, so go on after your second show. I was surprised you're on so early today.
We're usually between 9 and 10.
Yeah, but it's mostly 10, 11. I was shocked you were at 9:15, so that's why I almost missed you. So I was going to sleep into at least 10.
You should go and sleep in, Bobby. You've been doing too much broadcasting. You sound tired.
Yeah, I'm a little tired, but I wanted to be on for my friend Jake. He's awesome, right, Will? He's awesome.
We love you, Bobby. Now, Bobby, let me ask you this, though. This is why I think you need a nap. Yesterday, you confused Gary for his wife, and this happened.
Oh, is that Gary's wife? Hi, Gary's wife. Oh, there she is. Got a good looking.
You realize that was Gary, right? You called Gary good looking there.
No, I must have been tired. I'm telling you.
Are you into Gary?
Oh, is that Gary's wife? Hi, Gary's wife. Oh, there she is. Got a good looking. Before I leave, show him my.
Calm your freaky down.
I show them the video.
Calm your freaky down.
Show them the Zoom
I'm gonna
call.
need you to stop hitting on Gary, Bobby.
I'm not hitting. Oh, is that Gary's wife? Hi, Gary's wife. Oh, there she is. Got a good looking. I like good looking chicks in that family. Wow,
Bobby.
Oh yeah, baby. Things are about to get crazy here on the Jake Asman Show.
Calm your freaky down.
Sometimes we try, but that freaky just take us over.
Give him some of your loving voice.
Oh yeah, hide them kids.
Again, leave your damn freaky down.
Too sexy.
you gotta chill, man.
That was all gay to Will. Well, no, I guess I was tired. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's true.
Well, Bobby, get some sleep, all right?
Well, you're going on at 4:00 today?
Maybe. It's a mystery.
It's a mystery. Look at Will. He got to crack up. Will, you're awesome.
I've grown to love my buddy Alan, but Southwest has to go. I threw him off my show. Bobby!
What a call with Bobby Midnight there.
Wow, that was special. That was special teams, special players.
I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, one last call for Will, and then we'll actually let him go this time. We need our king. King Lowski joins us now. What's up, King?
Jake, my brother. Jake, my brother. Will, my brother. It's always good to see y'all boys early in the morning. Hey, I really called in. Bobby, first of all, calm your freaky down to get some rest. Second of all, I wanted to ask you a question, Jake. I wanted to know if you saw the beef between Cromartie and Revis, and Cromartie shouting out your show. I don't know if you're gonna have a second show about it, but I wanted to know if you had saw that.
Yeah, no, I did see it. It's a weird situation for me because I don't know what specifically is the problem between those two. So the interview with Cromartie was from February, and when it was announced that he was going to be part of the coaching staff this summer as a coaching fellow, I put out some clips from that interview just for people to see, oh, we had him on. He talked about coaching in that interview. And one of the clips I put out was him praising Revis as the best practice player and his technique. The clip I put out was only him praising Revis, and Revis took some sort of offense to that clip. But I don't think it was the clip. I think it was they have some sort of beef that we're not aware of, and that's where this was stemming from. And then Revis shot me a message saying, don't ask Crow about me or something like that. And I was like, hey, this interview is old. So I don't know. It's a very weird situation there. Revis clearly has issues with.
Me and Jake had opposite
people.
Revis experiences last week. That's interesting.
Revis was praising you. Oh yeah, he retweeted you.
Yeah, he's retweeting me talking about him, and then I see like him beefing with Crow about you, and I was like, what's going on here?
Clearly, we don't know the whole story why Revis has an issue with Cromartie, because the clip was not Cromartie saying anything other than praising Revis. So I don't know what the issue is there.
Yeah, as far as the whole tweet thing goes, I guess it was, they was talking about the Cowboy game and whose assignment and stuff. And it was really interesting because I'm like, damn, Jay Show just starts beef everywhere it goes. And I'm like, damn, Jay Show is like the WWE of YouTube when it comes to Jet content, baby.
It's weird though. It's weird because like last year we had the Klecko Revis thing, and Klecko was praising Revis in that clip too. So I don't know, man. Revis is obviously one of the greatest football players ever, one of the greatest Jets players ever. But for the second year in a row, this is just weird. Like I don't know. It seems kind of silly to beef with Antonio Cromartie or last year beef with Joe Klecko, but it is what it is, I guess.
Yeah, man. I chalk it up to this, man. Jake, you always doing a good job. You always doing a great job. And everybody wants to talk to the great Jay Asman. You know what I'm saying? You on your way to 40,000 very soon, on your way to 100 million very soon. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
If you're not checking out the Jake Asman show and what it creates in other societies of life, I don't know what the hell you're doing, baby. But you better believe this. Jake!
Yeah. The king, baby.
Oh man, what an extra 13 minutes this was. This was exceptional.
As good as it gets, Will.
Is there
anything you'd like to plug for the people?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I can live up to what I just witnessed there. There'll be a big week. I'll have multiple shows back this week. Last week was my 30th birthday, July 4th. There's a bunch of stuff there. So I'll be back this week. I'll have kind of just dive into some kind of storylines, I guess, from camp in terms of specific players, kind of guys that need to make a jump, guys that, need to show certain things and kind of that. I have a couple of film kind of things, podcast/film things with some Jets players coming out before camp here, kind of just like how they watch film and, with them and watch some film with them. And everyone can kind of get a deep dive into some, as a secondary guy, what you're looking for, how you identify coverages and keys, et cetera, vice versa. On the offensive side of the football, how different alignments kind of show where you're going to go, where these guys are going to block, just because I think we don't do enough as in our jobs, frankly, and then just kind of in general, the media is like just showing, like, we criticize, hey, this guy didn't do this right on this play, but like, why did they make the decision they made? Like, what, trying to show like, hey, like, this guy went and blocked this guy because this is what he's told, they told him this different call and whatever, as opposed to like, hey, it's the infamous like Sauce versus the Bills thing where like they're in deep cover 3, but like the guys in Sauce's zone, but Sauce tries to jump it because of time and game and like that kind of different reasoning. So I'll have that stuff. I have a bunch of stuff kind of leading up to camp, and I've been trying to post on the YouTube channel. So subscribe there if you want. Me and Jake have an interview up from last week. So if you like this, I assume you will like that as well. That's pretty much it. TOJ, Badlands, etc.
Ladies and gentlemen, Will Parkinson giving us a little preview of future Mondays in the upcoming season. Can't wait.
There we go. We're ready to roll, baby. 88 degrees in the pool.
Let's go. Will Parkinson, everybody. Subscribe to his podcast. New YouTube channel. You heard him say it. Just type in Will Parkinson. It comes right up, and you can subscribe right there. All right. Bunch of people still on hold, so keep calling in if you want in on the conversation. You know what? Damn it. I'm sorry, Jesus. I didn't see your super chat. I should have asked Will this. Will Will, you place a Jets bet this year. What is it? I know Will likes their over at 9.5. So my bad, Jesus. I didn't see this until it was unfortunately too late. Nate says you picked a great spot, Jake, in reference to our watch party. Yeah, I'm going to have a graphic for this, more details. If you're on Patreon, which means you're in our Discord, you already got the notification before anyone this morning. August 17th, Jet fans, put it in your calendars. T-Squared Social, Midtown Manhattan. We will be there for the first ever Asmaniac watch party, the likes of which you haven't seen before. It is going to be incredible. Jets Panthers will have giveaways. There'll be drink specials. It's a great spot. There's golf simulators, darts, ping pong table, video games. Look, it's a preseason game, right? So I don't expect everyone to be living and dying in the fourth quarter of, whatever's happening at the game. So we need to pick a spot that offers a lot more than just TVs, and that's what makes this spot so fun. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and I can't wait to meet so many of you and see so many of you once again at that watch party spot. Shout out to Mr. Farrell, says, I know you got your Jets, man, but we need a wheelhouse reunion after all that pain we went through with the Texans. Mr. Farrell, appreciate you, man. I'm telling you, the Texans only became good once I stopped covering them daily. I'm convinced of it. Shout out to all the old wheelhouse fans, though. Appreciate it. Matthew writes in, so ironic that Leonard Floyd, who injured Aaron Rodgers in week 1 of last season, now plays for the Niners, the Jets' week 1 opponent. I guess. I don't know. That stuff doesn't concern me. The great Cincy Matt says, what's up, beautiful people? Cincy Matt, one of the greats. Dakota is back. He checks in. We need Hassan Reddick at his best this season. Contract year, needs to go out there and ball out to get paid. I think you will see a great season from Hassan Reddick. That's my feeling. I truly believe that. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Ask me anything as well is an available option here on a Monday morning. We'll get back into your calls and much more after a quick word from Circa Resort and Casino.
We don't need gimmicks like giant checks and mascots to promote this year's football contest because we're giving away even more money than we did last year.
$16 million in guaranteed prizes to be exact. There's 2 ways to win and no rake.
Players in Circa Millions make 5 picks against the spread each week with quarterly and full season payouts.
Circa Survivor entries select 1 team each week with no point spread. Last the longest to win it all. Visit circasports.com for details.
Hit the like button, everybody. And of course, you heard in the spot right there from Circa, contest weekend. I mentioned it on the show. I'm going to be out at Circa doing the show live from there August 22nd and August 23rd. So you could head to Vegas and sign up for the Circa Million contest or the Circa Survivor contest. The Asmaniacs have an entry in the Circa Survivor contest. So we will come up with a team every week. We'll make a pick. And if we win, we got a chance to rake in millions of dollars. So I'm looking forward to that. But for all the information on the best pro football betting contest in the universe, circasports.com. Shout out to Circa for being a huge part of our show for this upcoming football season. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us right now is a guy whose internet typically stinks, but his calls are always great. Ricky NY joins us now. What's up, Ricky?
Hey, what's happening, Jake? How you doing today?
Hey, Ricky. I like the backdrop there.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. One of our Asmaniac infrared helped me with that, as well as the great Gator McCluskey helped me get that all put together. And getting things going, gearing up, ready for the season. And I cannot wait for the season to start. Are you going to be going to training camp this year, Jake, at all?
Definitely. I don't know if I'll be there for every practice, but certainly the ones that are open to the fans, I'm going to do my best to be at a lot of them.
Right on. Yeah, man, I can't wait for camp to start. I can't wait for the season to get rolling. I mean, last year it was such a tease, man. Like, we were all so hyped and it got taken away from us. But this year we're going to get our retribution. I'm getting retribution right now with the internet because everybody's gone. The landlord's gone. The wife is gone. So just me, and the Wi-Fi is nice and clear today.
Is it
hopefully that can keep going. Hopefully that is a streak I can keep going as well.
Ricky, thank you for the call. The Wi-Fi was not very clear, though. It was better, but it was still not. It still is not great, unfortunately. I'm sorry, man. Sorry to burst that bubble. We heard most of your call, but as Jesus Jerry says, there was some quacking there. Rich says, poor Ricky. Rat Diddy, LOL. Greg Rallo says the Wi-Fi sounds like BMAC. Come on, Greg. What are you talking about? Unreal. Shlomo with an interesting comment here. Jake, you in New York now. Top 5 New York teams closest to a championship. I mean, it's technically still the Yankees because as bad as they have played, they're still in the mix. And baseball's a weird sport like that. Plus, like, their championship would occur before the end of the football season. So it would be the Yankees 1. I'd put the Jets 2. Probably the Rangers 3. Now, you know what? I'd put the Knicks. I'd put the Knicks 3. Rangers 4. That'd be my order. Are we counting the Liberty? I think they'd have to be 1, right? Aren't the Liberty like one of the best teams in the WNBA? Of the major sports, that probably would be my order. It's the Ricky Wi-Fi, folks. Nothing like it. The Ricky Wi-Fi is spectacular. Comments, questions, super chats will cut the line. Reminder, the next emoji is ready to roll. The Asmaniac emoji will be live as soon as we hit 188 members. So hopefully over the course of this week, we'll be able to add the Asmaniac emoji. Let's keep it rolling here. Gator McCluskey checks in. Ricky's new live show will be an adventure in buffering. Might be the best of broadcast from a local Starbucks or pre-record his takes and upload later. That might be the best strategy for Ricky if he can't get the audio Wi-Fi situation configured. Joining us right now is a man who leads us on the field as our starting QB. A man who has sold more shoes than any man in the history of shoe selling. A father of 3. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Bonesy.
The only thing better than all them shoes is Joey D, cause he totally rules. Jake, my brother, I'm high as a kite. I love everybody. Damn, this show is crazy.
Bonesy.
Brother, I miss you, buddy.
Are you at Alden's right now?
I am. We're actually about to close up for renovation. So if you look.
Oh, wow. An empty Alden's.
It's a little weird in here, but as you guys know, because I call in so much, during the winter, we have no heat. So it's always freezing. Our AC works great, but our heat doesn't. And look, this is my man right here. He lives on the corner. I give him $1 every day. No bullshit. He comes in every day and asks for $1. Next time he comes in, if I could time it right, I'm gonna call in. But
have him call in. We'll do a bunch of super chats for him, and I'll send you the money.
His story is fantastic. He used to work in the building 35 years ago, and his wife was cheating on him. And divorced him. And instead of him like paying alimony and doing what he's supposed to, he went AWOL, and he's been living on the street since. But he comes in and tries to talk shop like he's still normal. It's sad, but he goes to college. But enough of him.
That is the most New York story I've heard. Right there.
Seriously, he comes in. He tries to talk. He lies about his age. He's in his like late 50s, and he says he's 30. And I'm looking at him, and I'm like, yo, bro, why are you lying to me? I thought we're like past that stage, you know? You're coming here for a while, but that's the life in New York City, you know?
Did you give him $1 already today?
I have not. So there is a chance that he comes in. He makes his rounds, man. He goes around everywhere and collects. But
that's tremendous.
But man, look, you weren't on for 2 days on YouTube. I know you were on the radio, but we were missing you, man. Everybody was missing the Jake, man. It was Bobby was doing his best. Bobby has been streaming since you got off on Friday. Bobby's been live the whole time. It's really hysterical.
It's insane. I mean, I was coming back from a night out. This was maybe Friday night or Saturday night, and Bobby went live. I saw it like 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, this is insane.
Dude, I woke up at 2:30 a.m. to pee. Full panel. 9 people at 2:30 in the morning hanging out. Bobby's half asleep. Nick is fucking with him Nick's messing with him, like letting him fall asleep on camera. It was honestly, it's comedy. It's comedy.
On behalf of the Jake Asman Show, we apologize for the foul language.
You got me. That slipped up. But Jets talk, I don't even know what to talk about anymore. We are getting so close. I will. What day is August 17th?
Saturday night, and it's right down the street from where you are, baby.
Saturday night, I am there. Lock it up.
7 p.m. T-Squared Social. Spread the word. It is a free event, Jet fans. It is going to be an unbelievable experience. I can't wait for so many of you to get together.
7 p.m. I'll close at 5, and then we'll have pregame.
Right. We'll do the pregame show from Alden's, and then we'll walk over to T-Squared Social for Jets Panthers.
It's literally right there. I actually have a customer who wants to come into an empty store, so let me go try to make some money. But I'll definitely be there. I'll call in later.
Bonesy, can't wait.
What's up, buddy? Is it closed? Yeah, we're closed for renovation. Okay. Did you know something that you wanted? I did, actually. Yeah. The leisure hand zones. In shell cordovan? In dark brown suede. Dark brown suede? Yeah, come in. Okay. Thanks, I appreciate it. Sorry to interrupt. It's all right. I'll measure you quick and get it right. I just don't have shoes for you. Yeah. Excuse the outfit also. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, we're still on, baby. We see you, both.
You guys are funny.
We're getting a live look in. Let us see how the sausage is made.
All right, let's go. So this is where the shoes are. You've been here before. I have to measure his foot, though, quick. I just wanted to make sure I got to get my measuring. All right. I have to measure you quick, so I can do this. And just have a seat here.
This is what it's all about, folks. This is Jets Talk in July. I think we could hear him.
I got you. I'll be right back. You got it. All right, here we go, fellas. About to make some money. Dressed in Jet stuff. You know, that's how we do here at the Alden Shoe Shop.
What type of shoes does he want?
He wants the suede ones, not like yours. Basically, a loafer. I'm going to show you guys before I bring it to him. Oh, size. All right.
Uh-oh. Is Bonesy's internet going full Ricky on us? Looks like it has.
I'm losing you guys on connection. And the phone ring. If this is Bobby, I will. Oh, it's not Bobby. It's my partner. Yo, I'm helping a customer quick. Are you fucking kidding me? I just took the whole store down.
Come on.
On behalf of the Jake Asman Show, we apologize for the foul language.
Please. I just got a call that they're not coming today, the construction guys. I just took down the whole fucking store. Oh my God, I'm sorry.
Come on. On behalf of the Jake Asman Show, we apologize for the foul language.
Kick me
So
out of here.
What happens now? You got to put the whole store back up?
I think so. I don't know.
Oh, my.
Let's see you feel this, buddy.
Anyone else riveted by this? This is better than any Jets take we could get right now, I would say. You tuned in late. Will Parkinson was on for an hour and 10 minutes mostly Jets takes. We'll check back in with Bonesy. We'll leave him on hold for now. We'll give him the Bobby Midnight treatment. While we wait for Bonesy's return, let's continue with your calls right now. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a legend on the line. Keith Best is up next. Hello, Keith.
Good morning, Jake. I hope you could pull that 188 off like we did with the one you did for me in one day, what was I going to say? I just finished up with the neurosurgeon and I still got bleeding in my brain, which sucks, but they'll have it corrected within 4 weeks. But anyway, that August 17th, I'm going to take the Silver Star train up to Penn Station and stay the night and then come back on Sunday. That sounds like
You're going to be there, Keith?
I'm going to try. I'm going to ask the doctor. I'm going to ask the doctor if I could do it. Silver Star comes through here every day at West Palm Beach at 1:10, and I could be up there in 24 hours. So I've taken the Amtrak so many times to come down here. But, yeah, I'd love to be able to come up there,
Well, that'd be great. Yeah, that'd be great. It's going to be.
You got to tell Bobby to clean his room. You got to tell Bobby to clean his room,
As long as he has the orange lawn chair in the room at all times.
Are you allowed to send me, because it's not posted yet, but can I get a download of the Amasiac? Because my girl that's going to do the T-shirts, I got like 10 people who want T-shirts. And I gave that emoji of mine over to my friend Stacy. That's got a T-shirt graphic art shop around the corner from where I live. And she's going to try to make me up a dozen or so. And I'd like to put Amasiac, amazing. I can't even pronounce it correctly. Put that on.
You're talking about you want this logo, the Asmaniac logo?
Can you email me that?
I'd be happy to, no problem.
I'm going to put it on the shirts. And I'd probably like to give you the opportunity to make the shirts too, but I have a girl down here who's a good friend of mine for many years, like 25 years, and she offered to do it for like minimal money. So she's just grateful that she's able to contribute a little bit to get that going. But I showed her last week's. Yeah, you haven't been on here in 2 days, and just like what everybody said. I miss not being able to get on here, or when you're on the radio. It's a big part of my daily, interaction with life. I every day I think about Chef Kevin and what he talked about the other night. And I can go off on that too, but I choose not to. But everything's good, and I got to run some errands this morning. I just finished up. I saw my neurosurgeon this morning, and he jumped on my case for a couple of things. So, but anyway, I wish we already had the games going already. It's like July sucks because we're talking about life instead of the Jets. And I'm very grateful that I'm able to sign on here and be a part of this, because this is like, you're a legend. You are the legend. You talk about this was just like a little side thing in the beginning. Look at what it's turned into for you, and everybody else. So I'm just absolutely grateful to be here. And I really don't have much to say. I mean, I'm trying to watch, like, what are the Jet players doing now? But if I listen to all that New York City hype with everybody, I just can't stand it. So, I told you when I first came on here 5 months ago, I said, I believe in Joe Douglas. You may not. And I believe in Saleh and the corrections that they're making with the staff. And the thing is that I told you, I've said this before from the Mets standpoint, you got to believe. And I told you on the first show, I think I came on with you, I said, you just got to trust the process. And if you could just let go and let that go, I think we'll be in a great spot at the end of the season. I know I'm calling it 15-2. It's probably not probable. I don't know. But, the talent you have this year is insane. I've been watching this stuff go on forever. I mean, you could do Gastineau and Klecko when they did their sack exchange. Maybe we'll have a new sack exchange. You can come up with a name for it. But I think our defensive line will have a lot of sacks this year. And my friend Chris here. He's one of my surgeons. He's a Jets fan. He wants to come to the game, but he doesn't want to come out to the Saturday night dinner. So he asked me yesterday. He says, "See if Jake could if Richie could sell just a ticket for the game." So I said, "It's a package where we go out on Saturday night." So he didn't want to do that. He wanted to just be a part of this, but just get tickets for the game. So I said to him, maybe you have to buy your ticket by yourself. I don't know, but he wants to come to the game. He's not interested in going out on Saturday night. So if that's not possible or probable with you guys, I'll try to find out. If he bought a ticket for himself in another section, can he come upstairs to your section? That's a question. I don't know how that works.
Keith, I don't. It's not my event, so I don't know.
Well, I know
the details on that, but I could check in with Richie, and when we get closer, get you some more information for sure.
Yeah, because he asked me. I saw him this morning at the hospital, and he asked me again this morning. Did you get an answer from Jake? So anyway, that's what he wants to do. He doesn't want to go out and drive down to Miami on Saturday night, whatever. But I'm looking forward to this season. I think we'll have an incredible season that we haven't seen in a while. I've been through all of that, the downsides, and this year, I think with everybody's pizzazz, I'll use the word pizzazz, that we'll have a good year and everybody will be in sync. When everybody's in sync, I think this team's, the best team in the NFL. Maybe we're not on top of a couple of teams like San Francisco. We'll see on that opening game. But anyway, it's funny. I just want to say one more thing. So Bosie's talking about the guy he gives $1 to. So I used to get off when I worked in Manhattan. This is in the early 80s. I had this guy who was a panhandler when you get off the train at 59th and 8th Avenue at the Hearst building. I'd get off the train, go up the stairs, and there he was sitting every day, and I threw him $1. And I even bought him a paper, the New York Post, on the corner there, so he had something to read. He'd be there every day. One day, one day, I'm going with my cousin to Shore Hills Mall, and all of a sudden, we're in the parking lot, and he gets out of a Cadillac, and it was him. I said, and I'm like, and he's going shopping at Shore Hills Mall, and I was blown away that I said, I give you $1 every day. What are you going to go buy? It was just crazy to see the guy driving in a Cadillac. And he panhandles in the basement at the train station at 59th and 8th Avenue. I mean, it just blew me away. So maybe that's a good job for somebody. But he did the same thing what Bosie's talking about, going around everybody. He even went to my office, and Carol, our secretary, would give him $1. So that just brought back memories like from when 25, 30 years ago.
That's great. Keith, you have a great day, my man.
Yeah, I'll talk to you later. Thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, the great Keith Best. Hit the Keith Best emoji. Our next emoji, also designed by the guy who made the Keith Best emoji, Snowball, the Asmaniac emoji. So we will hopefully get that at some point this week. Hit the like button if you're tuned in live. First State Jets with a Jet take. Carter Warren takes a step. JBC, Sherwood show he's a depth spot starter. Sherwood, I think, has proven he could start on some teams. He's just behind 2 All-Pros. First State Jets, Stigger shows some promise. Z Barnes, Braylon, getting good reports. Imagine the JD haters if Will McDonald has a good year. Some of this late talent develops when we get 12+ and the East title. 12+ wins in an AFC East title. Oh, I long for that. I really do. All right, we're going to wrap here shortly, but we got a couple calls left. Jerome's up next. What's up, Jerome? Happy Monday.
What's going on, Jake Asman? What's going on? You're quite the celebrity, Jake, man. We was going to have to send a search party out for you. Being gone for 2 days, man. We look forward to the Jake Asman show.
I know, but hey, I said it was coming, man. I said 4th weekend. I'm taking some time. I had things to do.
You deserve it, man. You deserve it, man. You're the hardest working man on here. But yeah, man, this show is becoming more than just about the Jets take, man. You about to blow up, Jake. We enjoy more than just Jets takes on here. Maybe it's meant for you to do something bigger. We don't know.
Yeah.
But
I mean, this show is way more than the Jets at this point. It's crazy.
yeah, it is, man. But July, I guess that's just how dry July is. But all the more so, man. We look forward to this show, man. You're famous. Bobby Midnight. In trucker's term, we're gonna need you to take your 10-hour rest break, man. We need you to take your 10-hour rest break, Bobby.
That's true.
You can't be doing it. You can't be doing that, Bobby. You can't be doing that. And what is it with this Cromartie and Revis thing, man? I mean, the Jets inviting.
I
don't understand.
It's stupid, man. It's stupid. I wish I knew the backstory other than Revis has some sort of issue with Cromartie.
We need y'all coming together, man. We need all this good and positive energy going into this year, man. It's about to be a great season you guys about to have.
It's manifested, Jerome. Let's go.
Yeah, yes indeed, man. Good to hear from you again, man. Let me get back to the truck stop.
I love it. I appreciate you checking in. Excellent call. Excellent call. Hit the like button for our guy Jerome, the Packer fan. The most positive callers we have. Another positive guy we have is also a Packer fan. How about B-Mac? We'll go Packer fan back to back here. What's up, B-Mac?
Hey, Jake. Welcome back. I hope you enjoy your 2-day break off. You know what I mean?
You know, it's funny. I worked yesterday. Saturday was the only day I didn't do anything. So it's so funny how you missed 2 days. Everyone's like, where have you been? It's like, we did a show Friday. I just didn't do one on Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah. Well, first of all, Keith Best reminds me of a guy that would sit down with his grandkids and tell them stories from back in 1958, something like that. You know what I mean? That's a positive. So he's a great storyteller, I can tell. But and then the other thing is I saw Aaron on Twitter, they posted Aaron Rodgers all of his touchdowns to interception ratios and by going for over 4,000 yards, and you know it's just amazing, like the body of work. You know, like 48 to 5, 38 to 5, 39 to 5, 45 to 6. Even his lowest ones, like 25 to 2, and all that stuff is pretty amazing. But you know, well, I saw some smart aleck said that, well, people say, the reason Rodgers had great touchdowns to interception ratio is because he doesn't take chances. Like, are you kidding me? Like, if you go in 38 plus.
Why do you bother with that? Who cares? Those people are morons. Like that's like you can't argue with stupid. Like it's not worth your time.
Yeah, if you throw 48 touchdowns and 8 TDs and all that stuff, then you taking chances. You know what I mean? Why also taking care of the ball? And that's Rodgers' best game. He throws a bunch of touchdowns and a bunch of yards while also throwing like 4 or 5 interceptions at the same time. So that's why he's one of the best, one of the best of all time.
Without question, B-Mac. I mean, look at Aaron Rodgers' career. He's won 4 MVPs. Mic drop. What was the year where Rodgers threw like 48 touchdowns and 5 interceptions, one of his MVP seasons? Like, what are we doing here? Come on. Those people are just stupid. Like, this to me is one of the most absurd takes that's ever been ushered by anyone.
Forget about his vaccine and political opinions. Aaron's football IQ isn't very high. Aaron's football IQ isn't very high. Aaron's football IQ isn't very high.
It's got to tune it out. These people are biased, stupid, or both. VR will wrap us up today. What's up, VR?
What's going on, Jake? I heard you had a day off.
VR, you got VR, no. The Ricky NY Wi-Fi strikes VR. His mic was all choppy. VR, call back. We'll get you on before we wrap. Yeah, I didn't do a show on Saturday, folks. Yesterday I worked, though. I just didn't do a YouTube show. I did 4 hours of radio on Sirius. Tonight I'm doing 3 hours on Sirius on Mad Dog Radio tonight and tomorrow, but I still will be doing a second show today. So if you combine the hour and a half today on this show, probably an hour and a half in the afternoon, that's 3 hours. Plus 3 hours tonight, that's 6 hours of broadcasting today. So the work doesn't stop, baby. We will stop when the Jets go 14-3 and then win the Super Bowl and we're at the parade, like Peter Castro says. VR is back. Let's see if we can hear him this time. What's up, VR?
Can you hear me?
No, VR. No.
Hello.
VR giving us the Ricky NY impression there. Unbelievable. What's happening to our regulars? Jets Johnny, 20-0. Amen. Amen. All right. On that note, I want to thank everyone who took time to watch today's show. We couldn't have done it without you. Thanks to everyone who tuned in live or who's watching after the fact. Do me a huge favor. Hit the like button. And also, please join my Patreon, patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. Details of our first ever watch party for a Jet game are in the Discord, which you gain access to when you join the Patreon. Patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. I want to shout out Joseph Tella and Frankie Castle as our two most recent Patreon subscribers. Please support me on Patreon. It goes a long way towards continuing to do the show full time for the foreseeable future. So I appreciate all of you for your support on the Patreon. And thanks to everyone who supports us daily here on YouTube. Like and subscribe to the channel. It's the way our channel continues to grow. Thanks again to everyone for their support. My name is Jake Asman. This has been the Jake Asman Show. And before we get out of here, how about we play a brand new Asmaniac rap? Ladies and gentlemen, Blitz BK is back with his third track. This one's called Football Kings.
First and 10 on the 20s, how we set it off. All these teams like this turf, they all wet and soft. Real grass, real gas, what we calling for. Top 5D, special teams and score plenty more. Ready for quarter wars, ready for many more. Open hole, run the ball and take their soul. They just lost in the sauce when Q on patrol. Pound the ball down their throat with hard, yo. We move bodies, leave it second and inches. Leave the weapons outside, we kill them inside the trenches. No remorse, no resentment, no talk, all is business. Got the fins on the hit list, division rap by Christmas. No third to convert, pound the ball till it hurts. Hit them with slants, screens, and streets, they all work. First downs after first, number 8 to G-Dub. All we do is convert, the other team we see as scrubs. J-E-T-S, 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 Jets, 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 Jets. Curtis Martin had a dream, watch us live it, there's some rings, watch it vivid, singing songs for these critics. Sing along, haters, y'all the engine to the spirit. Got a message, hope you hear it, handed L's, I hope you wear it. If you ain't hate it, you ain't popping. If you playing, who you stopping? Not the Jets, not an option, we ain't dropping. We pass the ball back and forth like Malone and Stockton. We got championship goals while the builder window shopping.
So how did that just feel? Feel great. Poetic justice. We're pissed off. We was ready to come back and show what type of defense, what type of team this was, what kind of character we had. We take a lot of slack. To all the non-believers. How did that? To all the non-believers. For all you non-believers, disrespect us. Can't wait.